Hey, what's going on, guys? Flatten here with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be talking about DigiLairs and the guide for them. So I keep on hearing that DigiLairs are super duper difficult, and they are, but here's a few things that will help to make this a little bit easier. So the first thing I want to talk about is the difficulties to make things. So anything that is like 20% or higher is pretty good for a luma ratio and makes it worthwhile. Now, the combination that we're using today is 2-2-1-4-4. So remember that rest heals are going to be completely sacked and negative bonuses will be 6 against you. You don't only have 13 gems to go through. The rivals levels will be a little bit higher. The shop prices, however, will be kind of decent. I have done 4 shop prices before at 100% prices, and I was also fine. However, for this one, we're going to do 40% shop prices, and we're going to go over once we get into the lane. So, once you get into your laning phase, you have you and your partner, 13 gems to go through. The first thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and take a look at we're going to call them nodes. So how many nodes that we have in front of us? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this one right here is number 11. So the reason why I'm pointing out 11 specifically is because if you die at the 11th mark or before the 11th node, you can actually reset and completely wipe your team for only 1 jewel revive. Anything past that 11 mark is going to be higher than 1 jewel. You're going to get into the 2, 3, and 4 jewel revive territory, which can end up screwing over the entire run. So the reason why this is helpful is because once you go ahead and die to your reset, so I'm going to die to this 2-star here on purpose, and the reason why you want to do that is because you can completely reset your team from scratch. You get a full free revive because our difficulty only has 20% revives. So we get a full team revive for free for just 1 jewel. I guess I shouldn't say for free, but for 1 jewel. Another advantage that you have here on this 2-star as well is that you get to see their team. So you get to prepare your team in advance so that you can fight against what Tems that they're going to be leading off with. And even if you get to their bonus Tems in the back, you can also prepare for that too. So that's a huge advantage right there. Like I mentioned, the combo that we had earlier was 2-2-1-2-2. So that means that your heals are going to be really, really bad and you're going to have 6 bonuses against you. So keep in mind about what those are so that you can prepare for it. Your biggest priority should always be offerings over chests because chests are only going to be helpful for very random scenarios and the offerings are usually better anyways. The only time that picking up chests is worthwhile is if you have the jewel chest bonus. Otherwise, don't go for chests, go for offerings instead. So for example, this one here, I'm going for the offer because it's going to be usually better. The only time that the offering is bad is if it wants to take jewels away from you for whatever it is. They could offer you a Lamborghini. If they're taking jewels from you, do not take that. That's a run wiper. The next one that I want to talk about is the store is going to beat the heal vials 100% of the time. So for example, I don't have one in my lane, but if you have a store and if you have a heal vial in the same node, you always want to take the store because you only have 20% heal off the vials. So most of the time, you don't want to touch the vials at all unless you're super duper low and screwed over. Now, you want to take the store because focusing on revives and the vigorous loquets are going to be your best bet. The reason why is because the revives are going to revive you, obviously, and the loquets are going to be 40% heal and 40% stamina. The reason why these are better than the bomb plus pluses is because 1, they're cheaper, and 2, you can also use them in battle as well, so you can heal your Tem and also gain stamina back too if you're ever in a pickle. Taking Tems early is not ideal since their levels will be extremely low, so say I fight this 2-star here, and this 2-star has like a Tem that seems decent. Its level is going to be shit. Don't touch it. I got a Venom and a Volgon here. That's actually really good. It's going to be absolute dog water, so do not touch those until they're level 96 minimum. You want it ideally level 98 or even, as I got, a level 100. Now, the reason why you want this is because the rivals levels are going to be increased with how our bonuses went and our difficulty at the beginning of the game. The final boss is going to have level 100 Tems plus 10, so they're level 110. If you're stuck with anything level below 96, you're going to probably get completely annihilated. So you don't want to get completely annihilated. On the final boss, it is designed to form a team to counter you and your partner's weaknesses. This is where you and your partner combine together and focus on a team that you want to take on the final boss with. You each get 3 Tems each, so keep that in mind. That's super duper important because your team choices are going to be the ones that are going to get countered. So, for example, if you have a mental type and a crystal type, generally those two together are pretty decent because they're going to be kind of confused as to what to bring in to counter against that. Sometimes they'll bring in 2 just to counter the one, and then the other one just has a field day and clears the 2 free Tems for free. I noticed that the move Cage was super duper helpful because Cage will trap in their Tems whenever they want to swap, and they swap often, trust me. They always want to bring in the most ideal matchup for them, so they are going to definitely be swapping a lot. So Cage helps that. Another thing that was really helpful was Tremerian's trait Disgrace, because the reason why that was helpful was because every time they swap, they lose defense and special defense. So you want to take advantage of that. Um, and finally, I wanted to just mention that DigiLairs are not easy by any means, and they should be done once the other endgame activities have been completed first, because having game knowledge in here is super duper important. You want to have as much game knowledge as possible, what is weak against what is strong against what, and also have a general means of what you're doing in a lair type scenario. Working with your partner and type matchups, like I mentioned, are a huge success on the run, so you want to make sure that you have the most ideal matchup. Communications with your partner are great on offers and whether you should take a tem or not. And RNG for bonuses is helpful too. I only suggest taking 2 bonuses at the very beginning of the game before getting into jewels and Tems, because Tems will be too low level and jewels will be necessary only when you want to do your revives. So I would recommend that for the most ideal combination possible for DigiLairs. I've been using this combination with my partner that I'm using in here, Squish. Me and Squish have had a pretty high success rate, and we've even hatched a Luma before. We hatched a Luma Smolzy together, so this has been a pretty ideal combination for us. If you need to dumb it down a little bit so that you can get used to the DigiLairs, I would recommend that too, so that you can get a little bit of a more ideal scenario of what's going on and what the better combination is for you. Now, I think that's pretty much all I have. If you guys have any additional information that you found helpful in DigiLairs, by all means, feel free to toss it my way. Toss it in the comment section to help out your fellow player. And I will see you guys in the next one. My name is B Flatten, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.